Well, haven't we met before? Just 60 days have passed since these two sides last faced each other, but this time it's Dartford who come to Beverley Stadium. The showdown on a warm Tuesday night in August at Princes Park finished 1-1. Beavers stalwart Dean Inman sliding in our equaliser late on in the match. There are a few familiar faces in today's enemy camp, as manager Alan Dowson, the man who spearheaded Hampton and Richmond's promotion to the National League South, is in charge of the Darts. Meanwhile, former players Tyrell Miller-Rodney and Brandon Barsey are also in the squad today for Dartford. We're grateful for everything these men did at our club, but in a week that's seen a family of urban beavers reintroduced into London for the first time in 400 years, we are hoping that these former beavers don't make themselves at home like the family of 5 beavers in nearby Ealing are expected to. I'm Jackson Cole, and beside me I have Lyle Anthony Golding and Laura Howard to welcome you to Radio Beavers live coverage of Hampton Richmond versus Dartford in the National League South. And today it's a bit different as we're live on YouTube. So to those of you watching, hello there. It's a bit of a sort of sour point of the evening at Wembley. Jordan Henderson, when he was brought off about midway into the second half, there were some boos from the England fans at Wembley. What do we make of that?
I think they have every right to express an opinion, and I don't necessarily disagree with that opinion. I think it shows either naivety or complete blatant ignorance from Gareth Southgate to kind of say in his post-match comments that he doesn't understand why he has to continually defend Henderson. You know, he's chosen to go to Saudi Arabia, having been a huge advocate, or one of the more standout advocates for the LGBT community within men's football, which is clearly needed at the moment, and he's kind of turned his back on all that and justified it, and has recently released that video supporting the Saudi leagues or Saudi football. So I think football fans have every right to do that, and I would question his place in the England starting 11 as a kind of older player and someone who's chosen to go to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, I think it's obviously it's a bit of an interesting one, with the fact that he has obviously gone, and still I wouldn't have anticipated that he'll still be getting game time with England, considering we know how well the Saudi league, it isn't exactly the most competitive league in the world, talking about sporting wise, and I'm not too sure if Southgate has really thought through his comments in terms of that, because in both what Laura said as well as just flat out on the football side, I'm not quite sure he should still be getting into the England side on merit of performances either. So it's a tough one for English for Southgate to deal with, obviously. Yeah,
Gareth Southgate, he backed Jordan Henderson. He said, as Laura mentioned, he couldn't really understand why the England fans were booing him. If there's one thing to be said about Gareth Southgate, he does back his players publicly. Yeah, during the last international break, Harry Maguire came in for some stick, particularly after scoring that own goal against Scotland. The match England won anyway, so it didn't really matter, but he couldn't believe some of the stick he's receiving in the media and on social media. And speaking of managers who stand up for themselves, Mel Gwynn, I thought there were some very interesting comments from him after our win against Hampton and Waterlooville. Maybe there were some suggestions by, well, we don't know who, but maybe some fans that there was some of the players may not be trying as hard as they should be, but there's a bit of fire as both teams come out. Sorry, I break away a bit from my little monologue there, but that is something new introduced by our owners, Stefano and Raffaella Petruzzo. It's got a real Football League feel this afternoon with those balls of fire being released.
Yeah, obviously unfortunate we can't point the camera to you guys at the moment, but you'll see it on the highlights package. It's quite a spectacle at the moment.
Yeah, it certainly is, and I'm glad we are a pretty safe distance away from the fire, because I certainly don't do well in the heat. Anyway, both teams are out onto the pitch. Hampton and Richmond are wearing their navy blue strip. And away we go at the Bev. It's Hampton and Richmond against Dartford. A long ball played towards, well, it's met by Louis Fernandez. Ball's now with Paul Rooney. Dean Inman and Fernandez and Bloomfield are all looking to get their head on the ball. It is taken now. It's Dean Inman with the header. What a finish by Dean Inman. A ball whipped in by Sam Deadfield, and there was Dean Inman leaping like a salmon, heading it into the top corner. Hampton and Richmond 1, Dartford 0.
I think Dean Inman is so good at popping up in these games. He scored the 1 goal in the return fixture in this match, and he's always a threat in the air, and he's absolutely finished that one off to perfection into the top corner across the goal. Got ahead and above of anyone else, and was there when we needed him.
And I'll tell you what, last season we had a bit of a goal threat between our centre-backs. I think they both had 6+ goals in the league last year, and Dean Inman has started the season how he ended the last, and that's a fantastic header. It was a brilliant delivery into the box. Dean Inman is leaning back all the way, and he finds the power to direct the header across the keeper into the top corner. That's one of the best headers you'll see all weekend.
He looks to find Bloomfield, who gets the flick on. Now it's with Ben Seymour, who will make his way into Dartford's box. He's got plenty of time. Seymour has a cross in. Oh, and it's gone in! It's Isaac Pitblado. I think it might have taken a bit of a deflection, but Hampton and Richmond are 2-0 up. It's Isaac Pitblado who's claiming it. He got on to Ben Seymour's cross from the right, and, well, Hampton and Richmond are in dreamland.
Everything we've been talking about in this first half between Seymour and Bloomfield just came to fruition there. It was Mason with the flick on. Ben Seymour peeled off in behind, just dribbled it down the touchline, was looking for players in the box. Pitblado was in the right place at the right time, just ghosting in at that near post. Fantastic ball in from Seymour. Good finish from Pitblado. Like you said, not too sure if it got a nick, but all that matters is in the back of the net. 2-0 to the Beavers.
I think as soon as you start putting balls in that area like Seymour did at the near post, close to that goal line, you're inviting defenders to make a mistake. You're inviting Pitblado to get on the end of that, and Pitblado needs like the minorest of touches to just ease that into the back of the net, and we're 2-0 up. I'm feeling a lot more comfortable for it, and I think it's just a case of weathering this period now.
It's swung in and it's headed in to the net. It's 2-2, and it's a header by Josh Nemard. There will be a bit of an inquest in defence for Hampton and Richmond. It was a very simple goal in its conception, swung in from the right-hand side. Josh Nemard rising highest and heading it into the bottom left-hand corner. Hampton and Richmond 2, Dartford 2. Sam Deadfield is the one who'll swing it in on this right-hand side. And it's put in the box. Oh, and there's a penalty to Hampton and Richmond. I think it was a foul on Mason Bloomfield. I did see a hand on his shirt. And well, the Dartford players are absolutely furious with that. So is Alan Dowson. He's having a word with the referee's assistants. I mean, we were quite unsighted because of the sunlight. Oh, and there's a bit of argy-bargy there. Sam Deadfield and I think it's Nemard who have come to some kind of disagreement. Someone is down on the ground. I think it's Bradbury.
Sam has to be smart here. He's on a yellow, and rightfully so. He's being walked away from the situation. But Laura, did you catch what you think might have happened there in the box?
I couldn't quite see exactly. I was more focusing on the delivery, if I'm honest, at that point in time.
It was just a bit of wrestling all over the shop, and you rarely see penalties in today's game called for stuff that happens in the box. You regularly see players fall.
It goes on all the time, doesn't it?
Especially at this level when you don't have the kind of VAR. That's where it usually gets called up at. So
we could really do a VAR, but we're not complaining. Hampton Richmond have a massive chance to retake the lead at the Bev. It's going to be Ben Seymour who takes the penalty. He scored 2 penalties this season, both at this end as well. Ben Seymour, he steps up and strikes it home. And a short penalty by Ben Seymour, sending the keeper Mitchell Beanie the wrong way, playing it to his left-hand side. And what a game we have on our hands at the Beverley Stadium. It's Hampton and Richmond 3, Dartford 2.
I think psychologically Hampton certainly had the tougher task here. They just conceded 2 goals quickly to go back on level terms with Dartford, and it was all of them to get back into the game. Dartford has the momentum, and for them to take the penalty, take it so calmly, to win that back and get the opportunities to do so, it shows really good mentality from Hampton, and hopefully they'll push on from here.
He's blown his whistle. It's Bradbury who runs up. Oh, and it's saved by Desbois! Absolutely brilliant by the Hampton Richmond goalkeeper. It was straight at him, but fair play to Desbois. He could have so easily dived to one side, and he didn't budge. And Hampton and Richmond are still level in this game. Now Desbois, here's Bloomfield, looking to work an opening. He's just been crowded out.
Oh my days.
There are about 2 players around him. I mean, it's not surprising that Dartford have resorted to that, because Bloomfield has caused a lot of problems for them this afternoon. Ball played high to Bloomfield, doesn't quite win the header there. Sense both teams just a little bit nervous right now. Bloomfield again has it, plays it to Wiston with his first touch of the ball. He's got some space. He plays inside to Jake Gray, who lines up a shot, and he scores!
Did it, Jake?
What a brilliant effort by Jake Gray. Hampton and Richmond in stoppage time go 4-3. This is a classic National League South fixture. Hampton and Richmond 4, Dartford 3. Jake Gray, you beauty!
The Dartford players fall to the ground in absolute despair. Jake Gray, the captain, stepping up when we need him. Off his left foot, he picked it up right on the edge of the box. No Dartford player closed him down. Unleashed a beautiful driven shot. No chance for Beanie in goal, right into the corner. Laura, we're 4-3 up, come on!
Such good timing as well from the captain. Late on in the game. Everything still to play for, and he pops up in the box with the goal that matters. And let's hope that Hampton can hold on to this lead for the first time this match.
Well, we're about 3 minutes into stoppage time. If we heard it was 7 minutes. Is it definitely 7 minutes? Or
I can't say
we
for
don't
sure,
really know for sure.
7 minutes.
This will be the last opportunity for the away side to get back in it. It's launched in, headed away by Dan Wishart. And there it is. Wow, what a game we've had at the Bev. It's finished Hampton and Richmond 4, Dartford 3. Well, where do we start from here?
Go on, Laura.
It's quite hard to know where to start with that one. I think one of the key takeaways is that Hampton showed great resilience, you know, to go 2-0 up, to be pegged back to 2-all, to still go up and go 3-2 up, then to come back to 3-all, recover from being awarded a penalty against you, come back, save that. Dubois, exemplary of the character that Hampton have showed in giving away that penalty and coming back to save it. That is what Hampton has shown today, and they've gone on and they've won the 3 points, and what a 3 points those could prove to be. Dartford, a similar place in the table. We now go level with them, and it will certainly prove to be a critical 3 points. 2 wins on the bounce now, ending Dartford's winning run, and who knows how important this win could prove to be at the end of the season.
This is exactly why we get into this. For games like this, Hampton and Richmond have come out on top this Saturday afternoon. They won 4-3 at home to Dartford. One afternoon. Goodbye.